Hello everybody, welcome back to another Phoenix Wright video. Rachel here. To continue with day 3. I get the feeling this is going to be another long-ass video, so I apologize, but it's the way it is, I guess. I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. Miss Sky, we found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Sky? Yes, ma'am. Yeah, this is gonna end real well, I'm sure of it. Defense is ready. Wow, this is one messed up trial. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. This dork. But he does have a hand wrapped in a bandage. This guy is such a dork. Ugh. That's what I need here is more info to work with. Yeah, I'm gonna have to press him on everything to get info, I bet. So that's what I'm gonna do. Hold it! Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, don't you? Yikes, now there's a scary thought. Oh, that damn thing. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, correct? So then, your ID number should be listed on here. I see, but the number 4989596 is shown as being used twice. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened? You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. Hold it! What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? You took the knife? I see. He must have been desperate.
Hold it!
About what time did you wake up? Your mission? Well, now we can all rest easy now. He's got a point. Delivered it?
Objection!
Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? So we have to... Let's watch. Looks like the camera's going back and forth. Why do I get the feeling we're not actually going to see anything? Of course, the camera keeps rotating, so we can't... So when it actually happens, it's going to be off screen. That doesn't show shit! What the... Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start.
Objection!
Regarding the video contained on the tape, there is one thing in particular that seems strange. This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
Objection!
He would want me to. I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that. How did this guy ever become a police officer?
Take that!
The thing that's strange about it have to be this. Would you mind if I borrow your eye medicine? Now what do I do? Very well, let's try this again. Okay, I don't get dinged for doing that.
Take that!
It's gotta be this.
Objection!
That's just not technically these things. Now what do I do? God, this is annoying. Hold this thought. Okay. Let me do this over. No, rewind. Nope. I'm trying to get this right. This is obnoxious.
Take that!
The thing's it's this. Officer Meekins. 30 Mimi. As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. I did the wrong light. It's the one above the locker, not the light on the wall. When you grab the handle, the sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, rewind to just a little earlier. Here, notice the light? Precisely my point. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. God, that is annoying. I can't believe I did. It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. Me, Your Honor? Me? Yeah, well, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Something jammed the sensor. There is something else out of place. Please watch closely. This is continuous to the part I showed you earlier.
Objection!
We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with. The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Yeah. The white thing wasn't in the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. just might have been something that fits the description. I think I finally got it figured out.
Take that!
I found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins?
Objection!
Is this a joke? Yeah, this is gonna be a long one again, just saying. I don't know if it'll be as long as the next one, but it's looking like it'll be another long one. Special cases? Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference.
Objection!
Wait one moment. I have the victim's ID card here. I found it at the crime scene. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene, the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. But it shows Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime, something important enough to fill out this report. I can't say for sure, but there's a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman wasn't carrying his card. It can only mean one thing. It doesn't require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room wasn't Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Bravo. Yes, what is he doing? That is, well, I guess so. This isn't gonna end well. Ah! No. I knew the testimony was too shabby. It's a trick from the beginning. How am I supposed to get out of this?
Objection!
One moment, Your Honor. Of course not, but I'm almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. This cross-examination proved one thing and only one thing. The security video didn't show the actual murder. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. This might just be my chance. Time to call a certain Texan Ranger to the stand. Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room.
Take that!
Officer Jake Marshall. I can't let Edwards know everything. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. Huh? What do you mean? I haven't figured anything out. Mike, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? My name? The SL9 incident. This guy was a witness? Emma, but why? Why is your name in here? Emma, wait! She ran away. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth, not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. I'd better take a good look at this file. Emma didn't come back. I like the music. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? Yeah, well, what about the fingerprinted activated locks on the evidence lockers? He's not being very helpful. Alright, he's all yours. Yeah, great.
Objection!
Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd, that is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't there. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene, or to be exact, a handprint.
Objection!
I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly showed us. Well, officer? This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it.
Hold it!
That's because you, how did you put it? Pay your respects once a month. I see. Apparently, his fingerprint data was never removed from the locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without knowing it.
Hold it!
How do you know that? That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. Yeah, I think we tried that too. The picture. The security tape.
Hold it!
What do you mean by that?
Objection!
But that video's next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. This floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without getting caught on tape.
Objection!
Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, officer. This is the most annoying part, this damn video.
Take that!
Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you won't forget. Very well. You can clearly be seen in the video. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. Now let's rewind the video a bit. When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Oop. Once... Oh, okay. Autoplay was on for some reason. I missed that. This guy just isn't playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Okay, something's wrong here. Hold on.
Take that!
We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? I assure you this is no joke, officer. Now, please tell us, what were you doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime? What is he now, bullfighter? That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure out the rest from here. Have a look at these floor plans. There is no evidence for someone to hide in there's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet. That's right, the only possible conclusion. Officer Marshall is standing right here. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you dressed like Detective Goodman.
Objection!
May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman? He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. Yes, and how did he respond? Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? The answer is simple, he couldn't. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. If he had showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? So he's still denying it. Who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. This kid. Obvious it's him. For me, that'd be what Mia used to tell me. I shouldn't look for proof that he was in disguise, but rather I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Which means he didn't originally plan to open it. Perhaps the video is the key to our answers. To all our questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. Fast forward, enter. Back. For some reason, you disguised to get and into the evidence room, though the why I don't know yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and then white cloth, the coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. It's way too much for a small donation. When you say it, you mean the SL9 incident. Well, what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why did you care so much about it? That's to do it about all of it. Why would you disguise yourself as Goodman? So that really was why Goodman started filling out a lost item report. The ID card I found was left there by Marshall. But he could because the rubber glove got stuck in the door. That means Goodman. I accidentally... Oh, back. Hold on. Back up one. I did that one. Hold it! You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? When did Edwards get so much influence? By the way, what happened to your knife? I don't know what to say. Hold it! So you did your research beforehand. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. It's evidence, huh? Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole it. Officer Marshall, can I ask you one thing? Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID? Injuring a police officer? This isn't a small offense. Not that salary cuts are ever valid.
Objection!
Oh, I think I understand. I think I know why. I have the SL9 incident file. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neo Marshall. Are you related to him? Oh, I didn't get the shot. He must be talking about the King of Prosecutor Award. That explains a lot. That would definitely explain why he's so invested. Disguising himself as Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Chance, it's gotta be more than that.
Objection!
Wait, and the verdict wasn't even reached in yesterday's trial. But... there's no doubt what I proved is true. The apparent murderer is fake, but I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. Emma! What do you mean, right? Your Honor? Oh, in a sense. Now that she mentioned it, the names of both Sky Sisters were in the file. Did you find something? Is that all? And I'm just a lawyer. Me? Oh boy. Yes, Your Honor. If ever I needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with the handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could it be something I'm missing?
Objection!
This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at the floor plans. Something is missing. Yeah, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. With all this evidence, there's got to be something I can use.
Take that!
The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force, defender of truth, guardian of proof. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger isn't here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well... I think Edgeworth got it. That's right, as long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it'd be impossible to put a handprint at the spot on the locker. It means it can't be done. Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Emma. That means the mark was there before the Blue Badger was brought in. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. At February 21st in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. One time was caught on tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, at which fell a trivial amount of blood. The problem is the other time. Someone bled prior to the struggle on the tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really killed.
Objection!
The murder portrayed in the security tapes has been proven to be fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. When did the first incident occur? That's right, the blood mark on the locker proves it. Proof that shows when it took place. There's only one piece that can show that. If the crime took place in the evidence room, the killer would have had to enter. In order to do so, the ID card would have been required. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see, 4:50. If the crime took place before then, it would be 4:40 p.m. Ah. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. Look at the chart again. There's one that has an unknown name. There's only one other card number remaining. 7777777. Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7777777. What? The chief. What if it's... You know, I'm thinking the chief of police. But that's ridiculous. Just how? An official charge. Is anybody thinking the chief of police? What?
Objection!
No. Oh, Edgeworth didn't like that very much, did he? Oh boy. The remarks caused such a stir. Yeah, listen to the crowd. Yeah, this is another long one, it looks like. We're not done yet. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. What do you mean, what happened to you? What did you have to do with those killings, Emma? What? You? So that means you? I didn't see that coming. Joe Dark. Marshall's brother. What happened? Lightning's... Permanent picture. So you weren't able to testify about that? Made it up, you mean provided bogus evidence? Edgeworth? So it's true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. What did you see in the instant the crime occurred? Little Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. Poor Emma, you've been through so much. Years ago, you would have been 14. That's understandable. I see. I think I'm finally getting what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about the crime. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right? Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he's being chased by a prosecutor? Taken in for question? You mean by the police? Why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? What? That's news to me. Lana used to be a detective. I better have another talk with her. Falsifying evidence? I didn't think you were the type. Lana, Emma told me about you. About how you were a detective 2 years ago. And how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about the unusual job change? A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one from 2 years ago. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is at 5:15 p.m., there was no murder at the police department. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so fazed. Why am I suspicious of the police chief all of a sudden? I don't know why, but I am. Because it's an executive with that number? He's a high rank. Chief Gant? Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? Maybe I should ask more about their investigation of theirs from 2 years ago. Second in command? That means the lead was David Gant. They even had the same office? When he tried to kill Emma. Now you tell us. Oh, excuse me. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim Emma passed out. What did you do? Can't blame her after all that her sister went through. Or must have. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident. I don't buy it. There's no way everyone involved in this trial was there by chance. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was. That case might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by a dark at the police department, right? Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. Must be his pet cactus. It's where you headed. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? What do you mean, fishy? The murder weapon? You mean the switchblade knife with the broken tip? What does that mean? Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? The highest art, you mean the... I knew it. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. Interesting. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered and the evidence locker was empty. What about Goodman? They? After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Now that you mentioned it, Emma said something like that too. Lana's secret, it all started 2 years ago. It was certainly enlightening. This place is always pretty empty. Today it's deserted. Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. I think festive is the word usually used for those. Now I see where Gumshoe gets his charm. Whoa. Where am I? Check out the pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Chief Cat! Look at the paper I was reading. What is this? No I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. Provocative. Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? I don't know. I'm just really suspicious of the chief of police for some reason. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Hey, I just noticed the blade down there. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He took... I know something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it. There's the... behind him, the jar. That looks familiar, too. There's just a lot of things that look familiar. All the same, we'd still like to check. What are you hiding? Seems the case isn't over with yet. Chief Gant denied a request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. There's got to be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Sounds like he's still out of the loop. Edgeworth, no, why? That sounds serious. About this. It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were talking about. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Sky's the guilty party here, isn't she? Seems you don't have any problems with enemies. He seemed generally concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything? This final attack, you mean... It seems Detective Gumshoe didn't realize Emma was the girl. His powers of recollection never failed to impress me. Businessman? What would make him take to serial killing? He was a pretty careless animal. So he turned himself in. That last witness. Emma. This knife, this was Joe Dark's, right? Can I ask one more thing? It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was killed. Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting in that office. No one's here, not even Miss Starr. What we proved in court today on the day of the crime, no one was killed there at 5:15 p.m. But instead, it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. I've got to find the answer by tomorrow. Wonder if Edward is back yet. There he is. He sure was quick to throw that paper down. That's Edgeworth for you, always trying to hide his real feelings. This picture was on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Remember what? Would you mind telling us? But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that the evidence was fake. Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? What do you mean? It's only half as long as most? That is odd. That picture, something seems strange about it. Could you tell us again what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was killed, you were participating in a ceremony at the station, right? I noticed the blade thing that looked like a sword is missing on his. You finished up at the office? That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here because he asked you to? Me? Sure, everyone knows it. Why don't you tell it though, for Emma's sake? Wait a minute. Those claims contradict each other. That's funny. If that's so, why were you only given a shield? The halberd, you know, which can be used to stab. Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there. Edgeworth? Is that Detective? Oh, he's falling. Hold on. He didn't even look. What letter of... You don't mean... Uh-oh, I think he's serious. I wonder if I can use this. Miss Starr? I guess she's out of lunches. Okay, I'm not gonna ask about the cow nipple thing. Everyone in his trial was involved in that incident. Not only that, the murder occurred the same day the evidence was due for transfer. This can't be just coincidence. The instant Lana supposedly stabbed Goodman with a knife. Miss Starr's hate toward Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. That's... You mean because of his brother's death? Her? You mean with the forging and forged evidence? Being used? Is magnetism? Incredible evidence, you mean? I take it she means forged evidence. Lana transferred 2 years ago, didn't she? Notice the chief is in quotes. I just realized. What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred? At last. I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Star. Oh, you're back. You're still here? If I'm not mistaken, he means desk jockey. That office is the last crime scene in the incident. I have to see. Is he ever not serious? Can't do that if someone finds out. What? All right, detective, thank you. If he comes in, we are fucked. Detective Gumshoe's a goner. Ah, detective! What are you doing sneaking up on me like that? If you're here, what's the point of your ID? I've got a bad feeling. This is safe, right? Okay, if you say so. Seven-digit number, I think I know what it is. I have a hunch. I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. Bingo. 7777777, the final ID card number on that record. The number of the mystery executive officer who entered the room that day. I think you're 17 shy this time. It's gonna only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number. Oh, not yet. This is someone who looks familiar. Where have I seen this? Looks like leather cloth. Apparently, it's empty. They look like pieces of evidence. Great. Now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. Are these two items related? Detective Gumshoe, could you take another look at this jar? It's kind of early to be nostalgic. Doesn't this ring any bells? You know the fragment we just found? Here, let me see this jar. I'll take a crack at this. If I can piece this together, you're gonna prove Chief Gant was hiding evidence. Here goes. I gotta do this again. I goofed. I was supposed to rotate it and I forgot to rotate it. Because I know that wasn't facing the right way to do it. That's why I'm skipping through this part so fast. Let me try not to fuck this up again. Otherwise this will go even longer than it already has. There! It fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of its jar in the jar in his safe. In other words, he hid a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident. What is it? A reddish line. That's blood! Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to look at this. What are you doing? Why are you sticking up your hand like that? Come on, this isn't the time of jokes. We're talking about the cloth we found in the safe. Okay, Mr. Wright. What are you, my mom? I don't have to be told a million times. Alright, let's get this over with. I'm not dusting anything. It's not literally not doing anything. Oh, that's why. I feel dumb. I'm gonna do the same thing I did before, where I cover the whole damn screen in dust. I remember now. It worked before, so I'm just gonna do it again. No. How is this possible? What are Emmett Switch Rangers doing here? Huh? Oh, it seems they're too old. They're not clear enough to get a match. Don't ask me. Let's just keep this from Emma for now. Desk on the other side of the room. Was that your sister's? Is anyone using it now? That's a strange reason to leave it. Let's see. Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues left. Sure. Why do you ask? Okay, now then, let's look around a bit more. Huh? What is it? Sorry. This guy's getting on my nerves. What's bothering you? I sure as hell think he is. There's just something that's wrong about him. Chief Gant, so it's come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't say that yet. Okay, something's missing here. Did I miss something? Okay, let's go back. Okay, hold on a second. Oops, I hit my print screen. Did I ever come back? We were here earlier. The paper he was reading in his desk. I wonder what he was reading. I forgot about that until now. Oops. SO9 incident? I wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, detective. What did you just say? No, about the evidence list. No longer twice as long? F-size list. What would the other half be doing here? It would seem like it. Of course! Thanks to your ID, we could get some hard evidence. We didn't think you'd be back so soon. Yes, sir. We'll be on our way to them. Oh boy. I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant's hiding, I think I'm getting the picture. Why has she kept so silent about it all this time? After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask questions. She'll be busy for at least a day. It's no use thinking about it today. Tomorrow's the final day of court. I'm committed to doing what I can to defend you. That's why I'm here. What you told me over the past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words. Edgeworth? Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest. I have to admit I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth, it's that you're incapable because of a certain person. Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence.
Take that!
Well, Miss Sky? Thinking she's still not ready to speak. Then if assuming he is suspected, tell me one thing. Why would he try to hide his crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was... Yes, you, but also one other person. Damon Gant. I found this in a safe in the chief's office. This piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame? Why not? The murder of Detective Goodman. Just as I thought. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one that killed Detective Goodman. The murder weapon. Edgeworth's knife? The knife from the SL9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. That was Edgeworth's knife. And that's the reason for the bandage on your hand. A star, huh? Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so bad? So you hid Dark's knife. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it in Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. You asked Emma? That's why Emma was so confident about Lana's innocence. A bad feeling. Marshall? To Marshall? Why him? Oh, you mean... He disguised himself as Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room? But Lana... Tomorrow's trial. There's the only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. And what went down 2 years ago. Okay, wow, this is a longer than the last one, I think. Anyway, that was day 3 of episode 5. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time with whatever. Bye!